Amanda Freitag.
Hi.
The one and only. I have to tell you something. I have a confession to make. You are not the first Chopped judge that I've spoken to in the past couple of weeks.
Oh, but I'm the best.
I'm not sure yet. You got to prove yourself. That's the thing. No, I talked to Mark Murphy a couple of weeks ago. He was promoting his cookbook. And every time anytime I see anything even remotely Chopped related, I'm like, I'm in. I must talk. I'm an obsessive fan of the show and just of the Food Network. So
thank you.
I just immediately had to say anything she wants to talk about. She can come on and talk about anything at all. So I'm very excited about.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, come back anytime you feel like talking about, controversial issues. If you have very strong opinions, whatever you want. But what we're talking about this morning is
I have a cookbook coming out in the fall, so we'll talk again for sure.
Perfect. Well, right now you've got a very exciting show, and we're here in the Hudson Valley is a very, I always view the two kind of epicenters of diners to be New Jersey and the Hudson Valley of New York. We have amazing diners here, as you know, because you went to the Culinary Institute of America.
I know, and my parents love to tell the story of, I went up and I was there for a couple months, and then they came to visit, and they said, where do you want to go? We'll take you anywhere for dinner. All this culinary knowledge that you have. What do you want to explore? And I said, I want to go to the diner, and I want to have a burger.
That's it. There's something so great about it, right? There's just something comforting.
Totally comforting. It's I just always feel like you can tuck into a diner anywhere, and you just feel at home.
And the show is called American Diner Revival. It's you and Ty Pennington, and what you do is you kind of find kind of abandoned or just diners that have hit hard times.
Yeah, no, all the diners that we have revived, as we would say, they're hugely beloved in the community. I mean, that is why, we've been called upon by, it may be a community member or a worker at the diner, to come and help so that this place doesn't disappear. And we're finding these smaller, mom and pop type diners around the country that are disappearing off the map because, they're being, they have a lot of competition with big corporate restaurants that can afford
a lot of chain restaurants,
Yeah, so this is bigger. This is deep. It's like we're saving these diners. We're helping these diner owners live on for generations, but we're also really saving that mom and pop business, which is really crucial.
And it's interesting that you say that because, obviously, like I said earlier, being in the Northeast and being specifically in the Hudson Valley and New Jersey areas, you kind of take for granted the fact that every third block has a diner and a good diner and a diner that people use to gather in the community and people go to kind of, it's just a hub. And you see classically in movies, if it's a quote-unquote small town they're trying to convey, what is it? Everybody's hanging out at the diner. And somehow that kind of got lost, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how, because it's just been a part of Americana, really. And I think people still frequent their local diner, and they love it. So I just think there's competition.
Absolutely.
There's so many people who are opening restaurants. There's so many restaurants out there now. So the mom-and-pop restaurant has to compete somehow, and they have to stay contemporary. So Ty and I are helping them do that, and with a lot of heart and soul and with a lot of help from the community, these diners are going to live on.
Now, what do you find is the thing that they require the most love in? Sometimes, you notice it's okay, maybe there's a problem with the building itself, or is it something to do with the menu? I mean, where do you guys really find that you need to give them some help?
Right. Well, obviously we pair food and design together. The minute you walk into a lot of these older diners, you see the wear and tear. Mm-hmm. It's wear and tear. Diners are open sometimes almost 24 hours a day.
Right.
So you never have time to update or fix. And so you see banquettes that are torn leather, or you see floors that are worn out, or broken stools, or cracked counters. And, you look at menus and you think, oh, God, this menu has to be updated, we need something fresher and brighter. So I think it's a combination of things, and I really do believe that, what we've been doing is a great connection between food and design. You want to walk into the place and the feel of it, the smell of the food all come together and make you want to stay and hang out,
Right. Right. Now, I got to ask, for you, what's the mark of a good diner? Like, what's a dish that a diner should really knock out of the ballpark?
Oh, man, there's a couple of things for me. I mean, of course, you got to have a good cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But, breakfast any time of the day, right? You
Just the
gotta have
best
good breakfast.
pancakes. You got to be able to say, like, oh, I got the pancake spot for you.
Yeah, exactly. So whether it be breakfast for dinner or just that, reliable, cheeseburger deluxe, whatever it may be, whether it's the best fries or the yummy cheese or that little thing of coleslaw.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's the best. The little side of coleslaw is so awesome.
I know. I don't know why I love that so much, but it's perfect.
There's just something about it, and you can't really explain it. Like, sometimes, like, why does grilled cheese and tomato soup go together so well? I guess for the same reason, like, laying the pickle across the top of the little cup of coleslaw goes. So I don't know, but it's perfect.
I know, and it's only, in diners. So it's just something that has to, keep on going for generations. We feel strongly about it.
Now, which one, across the country, was there one particular location that you got to that had a diner that was in such disrepair that really needed a lot of TLC?
I mean, there was a couple of locations in Michigan that were really intensely transformed.
Oh, really?
Yes, including this one in Highland Park called Red Hots. They had been around for almost 100 years. I mean, it's really unbelievable, the transformation and how much they needed it, and just the family that ran it. I mean, I was touched by them so deeply. So I'm curious to see what you think when you see it.
Yeah, and that's, I think that's a big part of it, too, is that so many of them are literally mom-and-pop operations. I mean, you're going in, and people who are working there, whether it's waiters, people cooking, people that you just see greeting you at the door, they own it, or it's their parents own it, or their grandparents own it. I mean, you're really they're bringing you into their home, and it's basically home cooking for you.
That's what it is, and that, to me, is so special, because it's, without being able to go into their homes, you are in their home when you're in their diner, especially when they're family owned. And it's a big deal, and it's complicated because families are complicated.
Right.
And it's sensitive. Sure, the places haven't changed because they haven't had time or the economics, but also maybe they're used to it. And, putting together such a big change sometimes, we open that door for them, and I'm sort of nervous to see their reaction,
Sure.
And they love it. They love it, and I think it's because Ty has such a sense of what will work and, what will be updated yet comfortable for the people. And I really get a sense of the food and what they've been doing for generations and what they'll be comfortable doing, moving forward.
Well, you can't just jump in and say, like, well, you do this really well, or you historically have done this style or this type of thing. Now do this completely different thing that you haven't been doing for 45 years.
Right. I would never do that. I totally respect what they've done, and that's the difference. I think, I'm not coming in there and yelling and screaming at them and saying, you guys suck, you should be doing this differently. I'm coming in there and saying, you guys are amazing. You've been in this industry for so long. Look at how well you've done. I'm going to give you a little gift.
Yeah, let's figure out a way to make this sustain for even longer because you've clearly got something special.
Right, exactly.
Speaking of which, and the show is called The American Diner Revival. It's anybody that obviously that grew up in the area up here, the Hudson Valley, New Jersey area, is just, it's going to be a show that you can really relate to. And as we've said, it's a big part of growing up in the Northeast and as part of Americana. And nobody knows better than you do, Amanda, because you opened the Empire Diner in New York City, and that's a huge deal.
It's a big deal. It's been a big project.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in New Jersey, so I grew up in the diner culture. And I'm super proud of what we've done. I mean, it's only a year and a half old now since we've taken it over. But, of course, that diner car has been on that corner since the late 40s. So it is an iconic New York spot. It's been in dozens of movies. It's just a beacon of light on that corner, with the big sign that says eat.
Yep.
And it's been really exciting for me to have this opportunity and to make, something that I call a chef-driven diner,
Absolutely. And that's awesome because, it's sometimes the Northeast, sometimes the culture gets lost in New York City, where it's like there's all of this stuff going on around New York City, and you would think it would be kind of embedded in the culture of the city. But over time, when as you said, big businesses come in, corporation and kind of chain places come along, and places like the Empire Diner, which has been around since like you said 1946 or something like that. I mean, it's just like you've seen it in a million movies. It's whether you know it or not, you know exactly
Right.
what it is. And I think that that's really cool that you're kind of putting your money where your mouth is in the diner culture, as you called it, and kind of making sure people know that, yeah, this is a part of what we are about up here.
Exactly, and we're going to keep it going.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck with everything you've got going on. You've got a lot on your plate.
I hope you like the show.
I cannot wait. I've got him. It debuted last week, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
and then it's Fridays at 10:30, so just DVR it and watch it whenever you're ready.
That's what I did. I've got it DVR'd, and usually I let 2 or 3 episodes stockpile, and then I get obsessed, and I just go through them.
Binge watching, which we all love to do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time. The show is American Diner Revival. It's Amanda Freitag. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.